Hi. Today I thought I'd talk about one of my articles and personal experiences which I've actually mentioned there, and just let's get on with it and talk about getting pissed to not get pissed. Well, I've learnt the hard way and many times over that we get absolutely pissed at Christmas, not because we like the taste of the drink, but because the only sane alternative is to feel the full weight of everything without any anaesthetic. I've watched this pattern play out again and again, year after year, in myself and other people. In people who brace themselves for family gatherings, my friends and people who I speak to here. It's like it's a dental appointment without Novocaine. Anyway, so the students who laugh it off beforehand and then go quiet on January, they disappear. I see it in friends who send ironic messages right up till the 24th, then vanish. And yes, I see it in myself back when I did Christmas, in my previous incarnation, if you like. The day starts manageable. You arrive, you hug, you comment on how tall the kids have got, then the old fault lines open up. You feel bad about your sister-in-law, you hate your brother-in-law, you wish somebody didn't comment on how you're looking because you're feeling crap. It's just wonderful. Someone will say something predictable and barbed, which you hate. Typically for me, it was my ex-sister-in-law who said, "Oh, you look good," meaning you don't normally. Anyway. You get people who pretend they don't hear when you say something. The air gets thick with things that nobody will say directly. And that's the worst. The children rampage. They behave like escaped animals. They're all over the place, all over the furniture. If you're hosting, it's a nightmare. Don't break that. Don't break that. And if you're not hosting, then it's a case of, oh God, my kids are doing this, my kids are doing that. And yet you can't say anything to them, because if you do, Grandma comes out and says, "Hey, don't tell the kids off, they're not doing any harm. You just let them leave themselves, they're enjoying themselves," etc., etc. So you can't win. So anyway, if you happen to be the cook, which I always used to be, it was kind of my role to be cook. Whether I was at home or whether I was in somebody else's house, that was my role. Anyway, the cooking starts to fall behind, as it inevitably does, because so many people come along. They want greeting, they want flattering, they want patronising, and so the cooking gets forgotten. And gradually the pressure builds up until staying present, staying fully present, really feels like holding a hand over a hot flame. You may as well be standing in the kitchen and going like that, you know. That's how it feels. So, there we go. If I'm honest, my first drink would start at whatever time the present opening was for kids. Could have been 6 a.m, could have been earlier. And there was the Bucks Fizz waiting for me. And I would go there and I would down it. It was the only way to minimise the effect of Christmas. So people drink. They don't drink for fun. They don't even drink for pleasure. Not at Christmas. They drink to blur the edges. Just enough so that the rage doesn't fully form. And here we get to Spinoza. Anger, as Spinoza pointed out, is a sad passion. It shrinks you, it diminishes you, it makes you less capable, not more. The bottle offers a different kind of shrinking, one that feels softer, more temporary and voluntary. It's not true, but that's how it feels. My stepfather's rants became background noise. His constant pressure, his constant opinionated voice, which came all the way through to the kitchen, where I was away from it and cooking. The forced cheer and good humour becomes tolerable once you've had a drink. You nod to them. When you get to the table, you've completed finishing the meal. Some of it's okay, some of it's not. Whatever. You don't care anymore. You've had your Bucks Fizz in the morning. You've had your sherry for the cook, little tipple, and you've had your Snowball Advocaat, or what's the other thing the Americans call it? Don't know. Anyway, you've had that and you're feeling a bit tipsy. So everything washes over you. You are inebriated. Wonderful. You nod, you pass the gravy, you keep the show on the road while your mind quietly absents itself. It's gone. Peace. Of course, Martin would say it's worse than that. Christmas is the compulsory annual performance of meaning when none exists. We're required to act out joy, connection, gratitude, as though the script were real. The dread isn't a personal defect. It's the only honest response to being conscripted into a collective presence, as if any of them are present at all. Alcohol is simply the lowest friction way to endure the play without walking off stage. Meanwhile, the children, well, they're letting off steam the only way they can. They don't have access to alcohol. They have access to frenetic, endless energy. So they go crazy. People get this wrong because they think drinking too much at Christmas is a failure of willpower or a character flaw. It isn't. It's survival. It's a rational trade. You exchange one form of bondage, rage, impotence, and the full glare of resentment for another that's quieter and sometimes comes with ice. You avoid prison or divorce or the kind of scene that gets retold for decades. Oh, I remember those scenes, and everybody laughs every Christmas at what you did at Christmas. Ha ha ha! And were you happy? No. You were drunk. Great. So, the body keeps functioning. Your dinners appear, nobody dies. In the circumstances, it's not weakness, it's damage limitation. The only kind that I can think of that works under these circumstances. What happens if you don't see this clearly? You judge yourself the next day, or you judge others. You wake up on Boxing Day with the headache and the shame that you tell yourself you'll do better next year. You won't. The causes are still there. We are cause-driven. The relatives haven't changed. The season still demands the same performance again and again. It's the same chain of necessity that rolls on and on. You'll either drink again or you'll find some other anaesthetic. Scrolling on your phone, overeating, sudden urgent work mails, that's a good one. The anger's postponed until you find another target. That's often yourself. These days, Martin and I simply don't do Christmas. We stay home, read, cook, do something we actually like. No tree, no visitors, no pretense. It's quieter, it's peaceful, and it's pleasurable. But I don't pretend it's some moral triumph. It's just that the cause has shifted. We removed ourselves from a situation that required the anaesthetic of, this time, alcohol. So this year, watch yourself. Notice when the glass gets refilled without decision. It just is. Notice the exact moment the mind starts to float away from the table. You're going. You're away from the situation. All these causes no longer affect you. Don't call it failure. Don't call it festivity either, God forbid. It's just what happens when honest animals are asked to celebrate a meaning that isn't there. So, pour another if you need to, or don't. Either way, the chain was already in motion long before December. Happy Christmas. My new version of alcohol.